Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey chapter 253. It is the second day of the week, aka the Special Beam Cannon workout. I am feeling great, very excited to get down and do this workout. But anyways, to the main subject matter for today. And today's subject matter is kind of weird, but not necessarily. Because if you've clicked on the title of this video, it's what this entire video is going to be about, and that is one simple little quirky hack in order to not be awkward anymore. And it's going to be one of those things that I'll wait until the voiceover to actually get talking about. But I'll tell you this, it works very well. And in fact, it is one of those things that I personally did not think about until I started thinking about, am I awkward? And then all of a sudden it hit me. And then I realized, oh, maybe not, but we'll talk more about that when we get downstairs. But before we get down there, I want to say thank you for watching this video, and I actually do have an answer to this. This is an actual subject matter I did want to talk about because I've seen enough people be socially aware of themselves a lot of the time, and this was actually a long thought process as to what makes things awkward and all that other stuff. So this was just a extension of that. This was one of those things that I've been thinking about for a while now. This was just a subject that I think today was the day to do it. Let's just say that. But with that being said, I'll get into more detail at Mother Base.
All right, so started this day off with squats, which were pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand here. One simple little trick in order to get rid of awkwardness. And it's a very simple one. I wouldn't say meditated on this, but I'll use the term meditated on this one day, and I realized something, and that is that awkwardness is something that you as a person projects onto something for the most part, not necessarily something that is perceptible to people. Now, what I mean by that is that, sure, a silent moment might be, quote, awkward, but that is something that you're putting into the situation, not necessarily the situation that puts that into doubt or the other way around. The thing that I realized was that the way to get rid of something like this is to simply just think it's not awkward or that it just doesn't exist. I know that sounds weird and also sounds easier said than done, of course, because it is easier said than done. But once you actually just ignore the fact that it exists or that something can be awkward, then everything kind of just melts away from that. You become more aware of your surroundings and things happen. It's more of a willingly acknowledgement of letting that idea go from your brain, because more likely than not, you're putting the projection of what you feel like onto others. So if you feel like you had an awkward conversation, you feel like you had an awkward conversation. The other person might feel like they were awkward, and then thus you were two awkward people together, and these things happen. But at the same time, it's just more of a, hey, you don't know how to talk to each other. That's really it. More simply than not, things can be explained away with the idea that things just aren't melding well, and that's it. Or things aren't going the way that you would like them to, or you imagine them to. The awkwardness is a cop-out in order to justify any weird feeling you may or may not have. And I think that that's the main thing about it that I personally am not a huge fan of personally, because I got rid of that. I literally said, why am I going to put this weird anxiousness into a bubble of awkwardness and just kind of like make myself think into that? So then I was like, what if I just get rid of it? And then there you go. I'm done. I don't have to worry about it. It is not something that I have to worry about. If somebody calls me awkward, I understand it. That's fine. That's their thought on me, but I don't think I am. So what is the point? There you go. It's defeated. And I know it seems a little stupid. It's kind of like those people that are saying like, just what are you going to do about the depression? Just like make it go away. And in theory, it's not necessarily the same, but also it kind of is the same in a sense that you can overpower the thought processes that make the awkward feeling happen and or awkwardness thought process happen and just kind of will them away. Because once you do that and understand yourself and the placement of the world around you and your placement in that world, things don't become as strange as they once were. And then thus the anxiety that you may or may not feel that causes the awkwardness to come up will go away and melt away and just be replaced. Even if all you do is eliminate it from your vocabulary, expel it, you will have a better chance of actually getting through it and making sure that it doesn't happen as much anymore. Things don't have to be awkward. You can just make them their own thing. Silence. Interactions that didn't go very well. Why didn't it go very well? Because you just didn't meld very well. Things like that. Meeting the parents for the first time. If you have just a general sense of or competent level of social skills, a lot of that can melt away. You don't have to project your own insecurities into situations that don't necessitate it. You can have control over it, mostly because no one really cares. And that will be something that I'll talk about in the next episode. To give you a brief summary, nobody really cares. You project more onto a situation than others do in reality, and you are very highly critical of yourself, more so than other people. Other people, maybe 5% of the actual critical nature that you would have about your own self. So thus, a lot of the time, things like awkwardness is just in your head. A lot of it, no one really even pays attention to. Nobody's going to remember this stuff. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you think, oh, this could be awkward, or I feel awkward, just let go of it and see how it goes. Let it happen. Hopefully you'll make it through on the other side better.
So at the beginning, that was silence. Just silence. There you go. And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Well, exercises not filmed. None. Exercises skipped. Also none. Got everything in, thankfully. I am super tired right now. Very excited to just chill after this. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. Awkwardness. Gone away with one simple trick. And that is to believe it doesn't really exist. I think I already said this in the voiceover, and now you're thinking, how could I apply this to me? Well, in reality, no one really cares. That's the fun part about it. If you start thinking of it in those terms, and plus the idea of I'm putting myself out there onto these situations, you can get rid of it immediately. It is one of those things that once you realize that you just take that word away from your vocabulary and or just have a little bit of a it was that, instead of it was an awkward this, it was an awkward that, it'll go away. It will be one of those things that you'll just become, And in reality, most people aren't even aware. They're so in their own head that they won't even reciprocate the feeling of the awkwardness. Now, other people can be awkward. That is something. But you, to the other outside world, you don't have to be. You could just say, no, choose not to be. I don't understand why this was never talked about. A lot of people always try to be like, oh, be yourself, be that. Just reject it. Just genuinely say, no, I will not. And there you go. That's it. It's like as if the key is there, but for some reason it isn't told to people. Just literally, it doesn't exist. Boom. And it's gone. It really is that simple. And if you don't think it is, try it out. Just get rid of it. Just say, this feeling, gone. Go by. Good riddance. Sayonara. Sayonara. You want to just get rid of it and then just do it. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, of course. But once you start getting it away from it, understanding that there are other things happening in the world, the fact that no one gives a shit, which we will talk about in tomorrow's video, the fact that no one cares, and that's amazing, but no one cares. That's the other thing that people, I think, need to understand. The other people that you're speaking with or talking to or interacting with, most of the time, don't care. Like 99% of the time. The only people that actually care are partners, and they'll tell you something more likely than not, rather than a random stranger, coworker, or somebody that is arm's length. Maybe a friend might, but even then, it's like, what? He's a friend. Who cares? If you're awkward amongst your friends, then why aren't you comfortable with them? Then that's a whole other conversation, right? Doesn't that breed other things that you should probably think about rather than your place in between where you are with them? Maybe understand what your relationship with them is in the first place in its entirety. So then that way there is no awkward silence between friends. You're just friends sitting around. That's it. that happens. This doesn't necessarily have to be, the void doesn't have to be filled with things all the time. You can just sit there. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that if you are trying to figure out, well, why, ask yourself, why can't you just sit there? Why can't these things just relax and chill out and also be more comfortable around these people? Because if they are your friend, then you should be able to be comfortable with them. Obviously, don't get naked, of course, unless that's a different type of friend. But you get the point, is that you should be surrounding yourself with people that you feel comfortable with, and then thus you get rid of whatever feeling that you have that you're projecting out to other situations, and get rid of it. I mean, there's no point in having it. And then for other people that you're interacting with, just be kind, polite, and there you go. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. If you tried your best in a social interaction and they took it the wrong way, that's their fault, not your fault, because you tried. You put in the effort. That's all you really have to do. And then once you understand that, awkwardness just completely goes away. There's no awkwardness because you tried, you did your part, and you moved on. They were the ones that put things into whatever you were doing, whatever it's a tone or whatever the bullshit they want to say, silence, whatever reason, what they might say. You tried your best and they projected their feelings onto you. So just reject it. Just be like, no, that's your problem, not my problem. And there you go. I know this sounds kind of ridiculous, but I feel like this is such a simple answer that isn't talked about. So I hope that somebody out there sees this video and actually lets that little part in their brain tick over and make it all make sense for them. So with that being said, though, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one was more of a random but cool one. We'll have a part 2 on this one, but it's a little different of a subject matter. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Stay safe out there. Take care. Keep it heavy. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.